So for the duct work, the name of the game there is making sure the air moves fast enough that nothing falls out. So the air needs to move at or above a certain speed we call the minimum conveying velocity to keep the dust particles entrained or floating in the air as it moves through the ductwork. If it goes any slower than that, the dust will start to settle and fall out, and then it'll start to build up and you get plugging. But before you get it plugged or clogged like that, the problem has existed, and that's why it's been building up. So, related to what Matt said earlier, many are surprised to find out that the duct work is actually the thing that requires the vast majority of the engineering time. Not the baghouse, not the fans, it's the duct work. It's the thing that most people have backwards. They usually think the duct work is like the dumb part of the system, but getting it the right size is important because we're artificially making it small, so to speak, so that the air moves really fast inside. That's why for the volume of air we move, the ductwork is relatively small compared to like HVAC ductwork, which moves a fraction of the amount of air, but is the same size or larger than our big industrial ducts, right? So making sure all the parts of the ductwork system are sized correctly. You can't simply connect another hose or another line on. You can't simply close one off here and put another one on because everywhere two ducts come together, the duct needs to get bigger, and like a tree trunk, and then the next branch comes on and it needs to get bigger. And if you change any of those things around, you will have buildup that basically starts happening. Or you could have the opposite, which is where the air goes too fast and you have a lot of wear and things like that. In the hoppers, bridging is a big problem with a lot of materials. That comes down to the kind of dust that you have. So some things are stickier, tend to agglomerate more than others. But a main thing with thinking about the dust collector part of it, big thing is not storing dust in the hopper ever. So as soon as dust is blown off the filters, pulsing, whatever dust falls in the hopper should hold that dust basically until the next pulse, and then that's it. So you pulse one row of bags, whatever falls down, the airlock or screw, whatever you have on the bottom, should remove all of that dust, and the hopper should be completely empty before the next bags are pulsed. So basically, the hopper never stores dust. A lot of the bridging and all that stuff happens because we have an idea that the hopper, because of the name, which is a very bad name for it, is supposed to hold material. It's not. Absolutely essential. As soon as dust is blown off, you remove it out of the hopper. That goes for at the end of the day. We start up, it needs to be empty. And that's all the more important when you have materials that have the potential to bridge like that and stick together.
Can I add one thing to that? Talking about the ductwork, since we're talking, cement applications, one thing that's pretty common in like crushing, part of the process in particular, you'll see a lot of cement plants have this grasshopper leg style ductwork. And that's pretty common. And the idea there is to basically ensure that the heavier stuff that gets pulled off your conveyor hood falls back into the process while the lighter dust goes up into your ductwork. So you want to make sure that the ductwork itself is sized properly to keep the lighter stuff flowing. But you'll see those grasshopper legs, which are designed so that when your system shuts down or for whatever reason, you don't have dust settling. And when the system turns off, usually you're collecting all the fines through the ductwork. The heavy stuff kind of falls back into the process. There are some challenges, some issues with that style of design, so it needs to be done carefully in specific applications, but it's very common in cement plants and heavy kind of crushing applications and things like that. And then another good practice is just to have clean out doors and access panels in your ductwork so that as part of your quarterly inspection process, you can go look in your ductwork and see if you're getting dust settling, vacuum it out if you need to, and just make sure you're keeping tabs on it before it becomes a big issue.